Okay, so once again, we're going to talk about methods returning values. We're going to talk about collaborating objects, and basically we're going to use the is positive behavior, and then a little bit about experience. So let's start from the basics here. I'm making a deposit. I'm depositing $1,000, and I'm looking at this number, and I'm asking myself, is it positive? If it is positive, go make the withdrawal. If it's negative, don't do our deposit. If it's negative, don't make the deposit, because depositing a negative number is kind of weird. And tell the customer why, or ask the customer, why did you enter a negative number, or make the customer or client aware of this problem. So let's implement that logic. Looking at my class diagrams here, so when I call the deposit, it's actually in this function that I want to check that if it's negative, or check that if the number is positive. So in the deposit behavior, as part of the account class, this is where I want to invoke this behavior. Alright, so here's how I'm going to do it. So let's go back to Java. So let's see here. So the deposit is in my account class. Alright, so go back to here. So Java is in my account class. Alright, so here's my deposit function. Now this is the step here where I am actually increasing the balance, okay, by this. So in this step here, maybe I should have commented this. This is where I am depositing the amount. So I mean, if it's not obvious to you already, you obviously want to check, okay, you want to check if it's a positive number before you actually go ahead and deposit it. So being object-oriented programming, what I want to do is I want to create a new object, a new validate object here, and the validate object is going to collaborate with the object that called this method of behavior in order to get something done for me. So I'm going to go vdate check is equal to new vdate. Alright, so this creates my validate object here, and now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this. I'm going to go okay, so right in here I'm going to go if check is positive. Okay, so which number do I want to check? Which number do I want to check if positive? Is the amount. Okay, up here, the amount, right? Okay, if check positive, right? So basically, if it is positive, then do the deposit. Okay, so this stuff here, I'm just going to take that off and put that right there. Okay, so this is my end if. This is kind of garbage now. Okay, and then I have else. If the number is negative, sorry, this is not a count. I don't know where this came from. This is amount. Okay, so if the number is negative, then display error. Okay, and this is my end else. Okay, and go system out print line. So attempting to deposit negative number, that's my error. Okay, so I have an error here, so let me mouse over this and see what the error key. So this method must return a type float. Okay, so see here, so the deposit method returns float, but I can see here, well, I am returning a value here, so what is it complaining about? Well, let's go add a return statement. Now check this out. Add a return statement. It adds return statement at the end because if this stuff isn't done here, okay, it's going to go to the else statement, and I can see in my else statement I haven't returned anything. So basically, I'm going to do the same thing here. Is I'm just going to return the unmodified balance. Think about that for a second. There we go. I should get rid of my error, and it does. Okay, so let's see. Let's have now no errors. Now let's have a look at this in action and see how it works. So I'm attempting to deposit $1,500. So let's see here. Now here's what we're dealing with here. I am trying to deposit $1,500 to the G1 object. The G1 object is declared here, is of the type account. Okay, and the G1 object has the following properties or fields: Princess Leia, the first name, last name, and $1,000 initial bank account. Okay, so through the G1 object, I am invoking the deposit method of behavior, and I'm passing to it a value of $1,500. So in the deposit behavior here, this variable contains a value 1,500. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm creating a new validate object, and then I'm checking if it's positive. If it is positive, it's going to return the balance, and that's what it should do. So let's run this program. Okay, because this is positive. Let's run it. Okay, and sure enough, it works. Now let's make it negative. Okay, and let's see the difference here. So now I'm passing to it a negative parameter. Okay, and then in here, this is going to be a negative. Sorry, this argument parameter will be negative. Okay, this will be negative. So if I go now what I'm doing here is I'm invoking the isPositive method of behavior. I'm sending it to it the value of negative $1,500 as it was passed to this deposit behavior, and I'm using the check object which I created up here. So let's go to the isPositive. So isPositive here is going to receive negative 1,500. Okay, negative 1,500 is greater than 0. No, this statement is false. So it's false. It's not going to do this. It's going to go to the else, and it's going to return false. Okay, and it's going to return false to the object, or to the to the place that this behavior was called, which is right here. So it's going to return false here. Okay, so this, what I just highlighted, this entire thing will be false. So if false, then don't do this. Go to else, and it should print attempting to deposit negative number, and it should return the unmodified balance. So let's check this out and see if it works. Okay, so run, and there, it works. Okay, so basically I just went through a ton of stuff real quick, and most if not all of you people that are viewing this tutorial, especially in my class, are beginners. You're probably gonna have to review the last minute about a dozen times, and ask questions on top of that. Okay, so that in a nutshell is so basically it all works. Now in the next video lesson, I'm going to talk about collaborating objects and experience counts, but now not before I revisit the idea of OOP code reuse, scalability, and your discretion. So what I've done here is, I'll be honest, this is pretty complicated. This is a very complicated way of doing something that's very simple, and basically, as I said here, is your discretion. I've chosen to do it in a way, mostly because I'm teaching something here, but I've chosen it to do in a way where it optimizes code reuse and it optimizes scalability at the expense of longer initial development times. And that's just so again, it's kind of your discretion of how you want to proceed. If you want to do it, I would call it kind of the ideal method, or you just want to blow through it and get it done.